Today I want to talk about saving versus paying off debt. Which option you should do first? Should I save my money first and then pay off my debt? Or should I pay off my debt first, then start saving money? So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to management, and I've owned 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. If you haven't had the time, please take the time, like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share with your friends and family so that more and more people can get this information, okay? So the big question, do I pay off my debt first or do I save first? I'm going to give you my humble opinion with regards to this. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of people out there who are going to have their feelings with regards to whether you should save first or pay off debt first. But I'm going to give you my opinion with regards to that. This is a question that I get a lot, and so I figured let me give a video explaining which option you should do first. So, before you even think about saving money or paying off debt, you got to understand money management. You got to look at your finances. Look over your finances and figure out all of your bills, how much it is that you have to pay in all your bills, and how much money comes in, whether it's weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, whatever the circumstance is. You got to have an understanding with regards to that, because once you see those numbers, it'll tell you a story. And that story is, I've been managing my money bad, or I've been managing my money good, or I don't have much money left over at the end of it. Figure out your story first before you even look at paying off your debt or even saving, so that way you can maximize those options, okay? Next, what I recommend after you figured out your money, right? That's one of the things I tell every single person to do. Look over your finances, figure out what your bills are, figure out what you have to pay and what you do have to pay. Now, you're going to have to determine something. You're going to have to determine necessities versus luxuries. Necessities are stuff that you have to pay, i.e. your water bill, your gas and electric bill, your mortgage or your rent. Those are necessities. Then you have luxuries, the things that you have that you're paying for that you might not necessarily need, like that Netflix or that HBO app, or, you know, necessarily needed on an everyday basis to survive with regards to what's going on. That constant coffee every morning that you're getting at Starbucks versus, you know, obviously grocery shopping and going out to eat every single day, eating fast food or going out to eat every single day. Going over your finances and figuring that out. Once you figure that out, then you can determine and figure out this. I recommend that you deal with your savings first, but not your savings in general, money that you're putting aside, but I say 6 months worth of bills. So once you figured out your bills, your necessities versus your luxuries, get rid of the luxuries, obviously, at that time span. Figure out a way to save 6 months worth of bills, right? I understand trying to save 6 months worth of bills will not be an easy task, right? But I'm pretty sure if you go over your finances, you'll be able to figure out how to do that. Now, if you're living check to check and you have nothing but necessities, then you might want to reevaluate what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're doing in order to get in this position to where you can save up to 6 months worth of bills. I always recommend you do that because you never know what's going to happen with regards to your life in general. And if you get laid off or something happens, you get sick and you're not able to, you know, go to work or whatever the circumstance is, having 6 months worth of bills in the past will alleviate so much stress that you may have on yourself concerning that. Now, if you're not able to do 6 months, start off with 3 months. I recommend getting 3 months worth of bills set up. Now that you have that set aside and you have that money taken out, then I'll start tackling the debt. And what I would start with is cleaning up your credit. Anything that's on your credit report that's inaccurate, or stuff that's accurate, that's actually reported on your credit report that has been sent to collections, I recommend that you take care of those things first. Then you start tackling your revolving debt. Looking at your credit cards, getting your utilization down to 30%, then 15% utilization, 5% utilization to 0 utilization. The reason why I say that is if you're budgeting on a month-to-month basis, getting your credit card utilization down to 0 will help save you so much money in interest. Next time you get a credit card statement, look at your statement. Instead of looking at just what is actually due in your current balance, one of the things I always recommend people do is you look at the interest. How much year-to-date interest that you have paid. And think about that interest. And that interest that you paid that had nothing to do with the actual principal balance is the cost of allowing you to use that credit card. You could have used that in your savings or paying off of your debt. And so look at that information. That's why I recommend you get your utilization down to 0. Once you started paying, you've paid off of your delinquent accounts, you've paid your revolving account down to 0. Obviously, if you have a car payment, you're paying a mortgage or rent, those are bills that are reoccurring that I would say is a necessity with regards to that. Now, obviously, with regards to your car, I mean, you can go cheaper, makes your insurance a little bit cheaper if you're having a financial situation, but that's a whole nother story in itself. But once you've done that and you've gotten your revolving credit card utilization down to 0, then the next step that I recommend that you do is with the credit cards that you have that you've paid down to 0, you use those as debit cards. Now, I have a video explaining why I use my credit cards like debit cards and all of the benefits with regards to that. And if you want to check out that video, I'll put it down in the description. But the reason why I say use your credit cards like debit cards is simple. With your debit card, what do you use it for? Cash that you have in the bank to pay your bills. Obviously, for the most part, there are ways that you can pay your rent and your mortgage, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money in that aspect. So that's probably the only thing that I wouldn't necessarily use my credit card for. And sometimes car payments as well. But insurance, gas and electric, your internet, all of those types of fees, you're going to pay them every single month anyways. But I recommend that when that bill is due versus your statement bill on your credit card, you figure out a way to line that up to where you use the credit card to pay your necessities, as many of your necessities as possible, and then you just pay it off at the end of the month before the due date is due. That way you avoid paying interest, and then depending on the type of credit cards you have, you get benefits from that. And that's what I recommend that you do. So first of all, let's go over these steps really quick. Look over your finances, figure out a budget, right? Once you've determine your necessities versus your luxuries, get rid of the luxuries, keep the necessities. Look at your necessities and figure out within those necessities how you can save money on those necessities, right? If you're spending groceries each month, you're spending, each week you're spending $500 a week on groceries, you can figure out a way to cut costs in that aspect. Figure out ways to save. Then at that time span, try and save up 3 to 6 months worth of bills, right, in the bank account, so that you can have in case of emergency pops up or whatnot. Then once you have the 3 to 6 months of money saved up with regards to bills, then I say start tackling your debt. Get rid of the accounts that have been sent to collections first, then work your way through your revolving debt and get all of that down to a 0 utilization. Once you've done that, then I would look into investing, some type of side hustle or investing in the stock market or real estate. Those are the steps that I feel that you should do. Now, if you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as always, you be great.